So we are going to practice labeling these sides, and notice they don't have any numbers in them, but that's on purpose. You see, you should be able to tell what side is opposite, adjacent, and hypotenuse just by looking at the diagram based on where your angle theta is. Now, theta is the angle in which they give you in the problem that's not the right angle. So in each of these, the theta is x degrees. But in a real problem, this could be x that you're solving, or it could be any number that they want to give you less than 90 degrees. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the information that we see based in the diagram, and we're going to label them. A couple things to remember. You never want to label opposite, adjacent, or hypotenuse with just one letter, because that could tend to get confusing if they change the letters of the alphabet to represent an angle, and then you have the same letter as O, A, or H, and then that becomes confusing. So use 3 letters for your labels so that you can identify them easier. The next thing is that you need to know that the hypotenuse is always across from the right angle. So that should pretty much be the one you do first. The right angle has to be marked, and that one would be the right angle box here. So in which case, if I'm looking for hypotenuse in number 1, I'm going to go to my right angle box, and I'm literally going to go right across the street. So across from the right angle box is going to be my hypotenuse. I'm going to label that HYP. Opposite is our second one there. I tend to do that one last. Opposite is always across from the theta. So if you can find where your theta is and you can go across from that, that would be your opposite. But I tend to do that one last, and you'll see that as I go through these a little faster. The one that's the easiest after the hypotenuse to me is the adjacent. And we abbreviate that ADJ, adjacent. And what the adjacent is between, it's the side between the right angle and the theta. And the way I remember it is adjacent starts with A and angles start with A. So if you literally look between the right angle and the theta angle right here, that's your adjacent side. So they're pretty easy to locate right away because they're always going to be the one that touches between the 2 angles on the inside. All right, so what we're going to do is go through and label these up quick. There's only 10 of them, but I just want to make sure that you're comfortable with this. Across from the right, number 2, across from the right angle is hypotenuse. I'm going to go ahead and put my adjacent in. My adjacent is between my right angle and my theta angle. Adjacent goes here. And opposite, of course, is across from my theta, so opposite would be here. And number 3, I'm going to start with my hypotenuse. Hypotenuse is across from the right angle. My right angle box is on R, so I have to go across from that, and that's my hypotenuse. My adjacent is between the right angle and the theta angle, so my adjacent is the bottom. And then the opposite is across from your theta, which is over here. So again, don't even need numbers in this to label it, but labeling is so important for us to get to the next step. Number 4, hypotenuse is across from the right angle. Adjacent is between the right angle box and the theta angle. And the opposite is across from your theta angle. Number 5, hypotenuse. Adjacent's at the bottom of this one because it's between the 2 angles. And opposite is across from my theta angle, which is here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pause this and fill in the rest, and then you can check them. You go ahead and finish these and then check them in a second when I come back. All right, that was quick. So go ahead and check your answers and make sure yours are good. Remember that the hypotenuse is always across from the right angle. The adjacent is between your 2 angles on the inside, and your opposite is always across from your theta angle. So check your answers for this and then move on to the next slide.